Okay, cool. Okay. It is 4:30. At this time, I will call the Architectural Review Committee meeting of July 2nd, 2025 to order. May we have the roll call, please?
Committee Member King?
Here.
Committee Member Rivera?
Here.
Chair Bouchard?
Present?
Committee Member Kiefer?
Present.
Vice Chair Haas?
Present.
Let the record show all members are present.
Thank you. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Okay. Public comments. If there are any, okay. This is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on any items not appearing on the regular agenda. Because of restrictions contained in California law, the Architectural Review Committee may not discuss or act on any item not on the agenda, but may briefly respond to statements made or ask a question for clarification. The chair may also request a brief response from staff to questions raised during public comments or may request a matter be agendized for a future meeting. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments?
Do we have anyone in the audience wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda? We have no one wishing to speak, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Approval of the minutes. June 18, 2025 meeting minutes. Are there any requests to speak on this item from the public?
Do we have anyone wishing to speak? We have no one wishing to speak, Chair.
Thank you. Do we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes?
Make a motion, we approve them. Where did it go?
Do I have to hit save? No. Shows 3 of them are hung up.
Are we?
There we go.
I don't click motion. Click motion? Yeah.
Technology. Isn't it
Yeah.
wonderful?
Are we having trouble casting a vote?
Yeah, his isn't there. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of them, it just says waiting.
Okay, so we can just do a roll call. Can I get a mover?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Move to approve.
You did. You motioned, right? Okay. So Vice Chair Haas motioned, seconded by Committee Member King. Committee Member King. Okay. Aye. Committee Member Rivera.
Yes.
Chair Bouchard.
Yes?
Chair Kiefer.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Committee Member Kiefer. Vice Chair Haas.
Aye.
Let the record show the motion passes.
Thank you. Oh, there it went away. Okay, new business, administrative design review 25-0005. That the Architectural Review Committee consider the revised building colors and approved based on the identity of Backpack Boys dispensaries.
Yes, good afternoon, members of the Architectural Review Committee. This is Administrative Design Review. It's a very straightforward request that is being asked of the Architectural Review Committee. The site is a cultivation, dispensary, and distribution use. The CUP was approved a few years back for the original cannabis use. They did have a modification done back in about 2022, 23. And at the time, the dispensary portion of the business was called Mr. Green Thumb. And the dispensary is now being operated as Backpack Boys. They have locations in California and in Arizona. When this is what the Mr. Green Thumb, the building colors and scheme looked like. This is from 2022. When the Architectural Review Committee and the Planning Commission looked at the CUP, this was the proposed color scheme where it was a light gray primary color with a black accent band. So the applicant, again, has opened a franchise with Backpack Boys. Backpack Boys does have a theme that they utilize, which is a black primary color with a red band accent. And so the applicant, he did contact and reach out to us and indicate that he was painting this building in accordance with Backpack Boys requirements. So he got a little ahead of himself, and so we're before the the committee to have the committee look at the proposed color scheme. So this is the site now. The dispensary portion, the front portion is painted the black with the red banding. So here's another elevation of that. So Backpack Boys, there was a letter provided to the Architectural Review Committee and to the city. Backpack Boys does require of their operators to have the two colors. And so this is a site in Los Angeles, California. You can see that they do utilize that color scheme. In Long Beach, California, again, they're utilizing that color scheme. And so our design review provisions do allow that the city can consider the branding of national corporations and to give that type of consideration when it comes to color schemes. And so Backpack Boys is located in 2 states. They are international. They do have a national, it's more than California. And then also the letter that provided from Backpack Boys indicating that that's their requirements for their color scheme. And so with that, we would request that the Architectural Review Committee do consider and approve the revised building colors based on the identity of Backpack Boys dispensaries. With that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to respond.
Does the committee have any questions?
Can you go back to the photos of the,
Of the existing?
okay.
Is that on Perez?
That is on Perez, yes. This was, when the CUP was moving forward, it was referred to as the High Collective project. This is on the north side of Perez.
I think it looks,
No, I'm sorry, the south side of Perez.
I think it looks fine. The signage is nice.
But they've already done it.
Yes, they jumped the gun a bit.
A bit?
And we have been in communication with the applicant, Mr. Hovanes. Unfortunately, he's not able to attend this meeting.
I'd like to make a qualified comment.
Sure.
I would say in general, not a great color scheme for a citywide application, but given that it's on Perez Road and it is an industrial area, I think it works. I think it works.
Okay.
You had 2 other slides of other locations, one of them in Long Beach. Could we see that again? Yeah, there's more red accent. That's my only feedback, is I'd like to see more of the red accent. Because it's so stark, just a big black building with a red sign. And then the accents are down below. You can go back again.
To the
Cathedral City.
Cathedral City location?
Yeah.
I see.
I'd like to see a little bit more across the top, but
Are you looking at more of where this black band was?
I don't know if it needs to be that much. I think it
Okay.
needs some red up top,
It
too.
needs something. Okay.
I don't know. I tend to disagree because black and red is already a pretty aggressive colorway. I think adding more red would just make that contrast even more aggressive. I think the small amounts of red doesn't make it stand out as much. I'd say just leave it.
Any other comments or questions?
I'm okay with it. It's their trademark colors, plus a lot of houses. There's several on Farrell that are painted black,
Correct.
so it's current. And back east, a lot of homes are the black colors, so.
I would just hate to see the city's got a code on this, and it comes through this committee and the planning commission on certain colors and palettes. And I've heard my colleagues here before comment on that, on developments and whatnot. And I lived here before it was a city, and it was helter-skelter Pall Mall, right? It was this building, that building, different colors. and the city has slowly got it back into some conformity. I think it should conform to what it was originally designed for. This, you know, but easier to ask for forgiveness and permission. It doesn't fly with me, but anyway, that's all my comment on it.
And you said the applicant's not here today?
No, I don't see him present today.
Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on this item?
Looks like we have no one wishing to speak, Chair.
Okay, any further public comments? If there are no further public comments, I still say it, huh? Okay, does the applicant wish to respond to the comments from the public?
Since they're not here.
Oh, close public comments. Thank you. Whisper, whisper. So I'm closing public comments. There is no further discussion or questions. Let's proceed with voting. Do we have a motion and a second?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second. But I can't get on.
Go back to click motion.
Is it behaving again?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, it's
My whole screen just disappeared.
doing the same thing on Dean and John.
My screen's gone black.
Oh, so is that.
Oh,
Click it, recommendation.
Why don't we take a roll call?
Yes, I was going to say, if we're having issues, we can just stick to a roll call
Yeah,
tonight.
take a roll call. We
With-
had
with-
Rivera moved, Kiefer second.
So can we get that again? So Chair, Committee Member Rivera, you made a motion?
Motion to approve?
You motioned to approve. Who seconded?
Kiefer.
I did.
Committee Member Kiefer. Okay, we're going to get a roll call. Committee Member King?
Nay.
Nay. Okay. Committee Member Rivera.
Yes.
Chair Bouchard?
Yes.
Committee Member Kiefer.
Yes.
Vice Chair Haas?
Aye.
All right, okay. Let the record show the motion has passed. 4 yeses, 1 no.
Can you make that thing go away? Oh, there you go.
Come back.
Okay. John has a black screen.
I have a black screen.
Ooh, la-di-da.
What a guy.
La-di-da.
Good to have one millennial in here.
Next item on the agenda, 3B, Design Review 25-0001. Review the proposed architecture and landscaping for the proposed Sun Community Credit Union building and recommend Planning Commission approval.
All right, good afternoon, Chair Bouchard, members of the Architectural Review Committee. My name is Dom Camps, Associate Planner with the City. Today I'll be presenting Design Review 25-0001, the proposed architecture and landscaping for the Sun Community Credit Union building. So on April 3rd, 2024, the applicant Jason Patty submitted the application for this design review, proposing the development of an approximately 2,900 square foot credit union building and associated improvements. The project is proposed for an approximately 0.59 acre vacant parcel in the Cathedral City Marketplace Shopping Center, immediately north of Victoria Drive and west of Date Palm Drive. The Cathedral City Marketplace Shopping Center was originally approved in 1989 through conditional use permit 89-127. And according to the staff report for that conditional use permit, this parcel was originally contemplated for a building pad of up to 4,000 square feet. The project site is designated as general commercial and zoned planned community commercial. Banks and similar financial institutions are a permitted use in this zone. This design review is subject to review by the Architectural Review Committee and review and approval by the Planning Commission. So here is a closer look at the site in its current condition. Note that the next few sides are rotated 90 degrees with north on the right. So the site is comprised of approximately 11,000 square feet of turf landscaped area lined with palm trees, as well as approximately 12,000 square feet of paved parking area. The project proposes the construction of the credit union building on the south side of the parcel in the area that is currently landscaped. The project also proposes to reconstruct and reconfigure the existing on-site parking area. The existing public sidewalk that runs along Date Palm Drive and Victoria Drive would be extended into the parking area to the front entrance of the building. The existing trash enclosure would be relocated and replaced with a trash enclosure that is built to the city's standard. And the existing monument sign, which you can see on the Date Palm Drive frontage, would remain. The reconstructed parking lot will provide 15 parking spaces and 2 ADA compliant parking spaces, which meets the city's parking standard. Here is the proposed floor plan for the building. The building will be approximately 2,900 square feet and will be oriented with the front entrance facing Date Palm Drive. And within the front entryway, there will be a walk-up ATM. These are the proposed elevations. The architecture will be a contemporary style with large windows, flat roof lines, and articulation in both the facade and the building height. The material palette features glass, faux wood panels, and cladding in taupe, as well as with blue and yellow accent colors. And the applicant has provided a material sample board here for reference. Here is a building section looking north from Victoria Drive. Be careful, the glass might come detached, yeah. This is a building section looking north from Victoria Drive. The proposed building will be 20 feet and 5 inches at the tallest point. And as shown, the proposed architecture incorporates parapets to screen the roof-mounted equipment. So you can see the HVAC equipment here is screened. Here is the concept landscape plan. The project proposes to enhance the landscaping along Date Palm Drive and along the entrance to the shopping center. The existing fan palms will be maintained on site where possible. However, some trees will have to be removed to accommodate the new retention basin, which would be along Date Palm Drive, as well as the changes in the parking lot configuration. New fan palms will be provided along the western boundary of the site. And Australian willows, African sumacs, southern live oaks will be provided as shade trees in the parking lot. Desert landscaping will also be provided throughout the site, including plants such as agave, desert spoon, red yucca, and lantana. And decomposed granite and brimstone is proposed as ground cover. The final landscape plan will be subject to review and approval by CVWD to ensure compliance with water efficiency requirements. Staff recommends that the Architectural Review Committee review the architecture and landscaping for the proposed Sun Community Credit Union building and recommend Planning Commission approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is also here if you have any questions.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Can you go back to the rendering of the building?
Yes.
Yeah, I just have one comment. Wow. It's really nice.
Does that glass side face Date Palm?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. It's going to stick out.
It's going to be the nicest thing on the
It's a
block.
pretty stick out, but it's going to stick out.
Encourage others.
Yeah, that's good.
Does the committee have any questions for staff?
I really
questions.
don't.
I think I'm gonna be the one odd voter here, but I feel like they threw the kitchen sink at this thing. It looks like a different building depending on which side you look at it from. There's some interesting elements, some that I like, but it just seems overly complicated. And it doesn't really, because it is on a major, this is on Date Palm, and because it is part of an existing site, it doesn't have any connection to the rest of the site whatsoever. Yeah, it is, it's something.
There's no further questions for staff. I will now open up public comments for this item. Does the committee have any questions for the applicant, or if the applicant would like to speak?
It appears we have no one wishing to speak, Chair. It appears we have no one wishing to speak, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any further public comments?
No.
No. If there are no further public comments, just skipping down. I will close public comments and bring the item back to the committee for discussion or questions.
Is this a tilt-up concrete building? It just looks like part of it is.
Apologies, Committee Member Rivera. Can you bring the mic a little closer?
Mike.
Yeah, is this a tilt-up concrete building? It just has the appearance of one, which I think is...
I'm not certain about the exact construction. Perhaps the applicant would be able to answer that question, though.
Okay.
My name is Jonathan. I'm with Level 5, the developer, and I'm with the developer and builder. No, it is not a tilt-up concrete. It would be stucco.
Okay. So was there any consideration given for the context of the surrounding buildings and location when the design was put together? I mean, I could picture this building in many other cities, but not so much Cathedral City.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be quite frank, it is kind of a thematic design for them. They're planning on building this or very similar to this in a few other cities as well. So it's kind of they want it to be brand recognizable from city to city. But they did take into the context in consideration.
It sits on the very corner, right, of the shopping center?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, if our only problem is that it's too nice opposed to everything else, I mean, we're setting a precedent to just dumb everything else down to make way for things that are less design-centric.
I think except for the glass and the wood paneling, the rest of it kind of blends with that development.
And it's in the
Shopping
very
center.
corner. It's not smack dab in the middle. And, you know, if something nice goes in, then I'm hoping it makes other people want to improve their properties as well. Or even set something in motion to where adjacent properties are redeveloped or redesigned or...
Oh.
I don't see any problem with it sticking out. I think it's a good thing overall in the grand scheme of the city.
The yellow matches Casablanca.
Perfect.
Sorry, couldn't help myself. Any further questions for the applicant?
So moving away from the building, is the required minimum shaded parking met? It is, because it looks sparse on the landscape plan.
The calculation, let's see, is not shown, but the shade requirements are provided.
Because it looks like 3 spaces maybe get shaded parking.
I believe the full landscape plan that was submitted with the staff report included a calculation for square footage that would be shaded
Okay.
with, once the trees have grown.
Any other questions or comments from?
I don't have any questions or comments now.
Okay. Can we proceed with voting? Do we have a motion?
I'd make a motion. Approve it.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Committee Member King. Committee Member Rivera.
No.
Chair Bouchard.
Yes.
Committee Member Kiefer.
Yes.
Vice Chair Haas.
Aye.
Let the record show a motion was made by Committee Member King, seconded by Committee Member Kiefer. Motion passes 4 yeses, 1 no.
Sorry. Catching up. Are there any future agenda items to discuss?
Apologies for that. My microphone's on now. So just to the committee, we will be having a July 16th ARC meeting.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
We will be meeting on the 16th.
16th.
No, 2 weeks. Do we have any comments from staff?
A couple of quick comments. So at the last meeting, I talked a little bit about some improvements that we're looking to make to serve the committee as staff. So we will be sharing future agenda items, giving you a heads up on when we will be having meetings for the ARC, give you a little heads up on when those meetings are anticipated to be scheduled. Obviously, our development process is fluid. In a lot of cases, these are our projections. Sometimes they don't always meet the mark, but this will give you a sense of what's in the queue, what's in the pipeline. So you should start to see that here soon. I also committed that we would be sharing a workload analysis of the Architectural Review Committee. I do need to finalize that with our analyst, and I will get that back to you. The one item that I wanted to add, or the two items that I wanted to add to the discussion we had last time, the council did discuss committee and commissioner appointments at their last meeting, and they directed city staff to prepare an administrative policy on attendance for committee and members, commission members, and really what we do to track attendance. So this is still in development, but I think this puts a little bit of responsibility on committee and commission members to inform staff when they are not able to attend a meeting. If you know in advance that you have a work conflict, if you know in advance that you're going to be out due to a vacation, let staff know in advance. That's something that we can track and monitor. It helps us as well as we're scheduling meetings. If we know that we're not going to have a quorum, we can work to cancel that meeting, and we're not inviting the applicants in to a meeting where there's not a quorum. We know that there are unplanned absences. You get sick, you have a family emergency, that happens as well. So that policy will address those instances where you have an unplanned absence from a meeting. So I think really this is trying to create just a little bit more accountability for meeting attendance for all committees and commissions across the city. So we'll share that policy when that has been completed. And as well, something that I've seen and we've seen with other committee and commissions is just sharing an attendance log, letting you know where you're at, so that you know how many absences you've had in that period of time, and that's available for the council as well. So more to come on that, but I'll be sure to get the workload analysis to the ARC, and as well, we'll start sharing that look ahead for future ARC meetings with you.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from the committee? No?
Kind of struggled whether or not to say anything, but I think when we're all sitting here collectively as representatives of the city, I feel it's in bad taste and bad decorum to take personal snipes at other committee members. You can voice your opinion, certainly. Tanner, I actually do respect you as a committee member and your opinions. Dumb it down, was that really a necessary comment?
The design itself?
You didn't want to dumb it down? I was the only one that made comments against it, so.
I apologize. It wasn't my intention to.
I mean, I'm just saying, we're the face of the city when we're sitting up here, and we should appear. We can disagree politely. And, anyway, that was it.
So do we have a lot of stuff coming down the...
We do have that one meeting next week for a administrative design review on an accessory building for the Amazon Center. But we do have several applications that are under review that we're just waiting for a resubmittal. So we have a lot coming down the pike. It's just that we don't have the final plans to move forward to come through the process.
So we're seeing an increase in activity compared to like the last year or so.
Certain types of activity.
Yeah.
When we share the workload analysis with you, you'll see that there's a substantial decline in the
Yeah.
cannabis CUP applications, while we've seen a steady rate or even an increase in the residential entitlements, for instance. So the nature of the projects is changing. We are seeing fewer applications in total, although I would say that's largely explained by a decrease in the cannabis CUPs.
Thank you.
I've noticed that. When I first came in here, it was all we were doing. So, yeah, they're pretty sparse at this point.
Yeah, on that subject, I'm hearing people tell me, because they know that I'm on the board, that, there is the smell of cannabis. It's not supposed to be there. I've noticed it in other locations, and when I got here this afternoon, I parked closer to the west side of the parking area, and I got a pretty strong whiff of raw cannabis. I'm just wondering how is the city monitoring that?
Sure. So a couple things on cannabis. One, if you smell it and want to report it, please use the GoGov, the app, the Cathedral City app to report any issue. That's the right way to do it. That will log that complaint. It will get assigned, and we'll at least be able to identify, the date, time, location of when we had that cannabis odor complaint. We currently are in a moratorium, and we are evaluating cannabis ordinance updates. We have identified fairly substantial gaps between the cannabis CUP process, the conditions of approval, and the entitlement process, and what actually gets built. We don't have an odor control permitting process currently. A lot of other cities have done that. That puts a little bit more responsibility on an applicant to identify the odor control systems, the equipment, what they're putting in place to mitigate cannabis odor. And this is particularly important for cultivation and manufacturing, where you have a lot of movement of the cannabis plants and you're generating a lot of the cannabis odor and emission. So we are preparing an ordinance update, and I would say that in a matter of a couple of weeks, we will have a draft available for public comment. We've been working in conjunction with a couple of consultants, including SCS engineers, to look at best practices in the industry, to look at how we can modify our regulations to not only add that odor control permitting process, but how we can elevate our minimum standard and really better guide all cannabis businesses in the process. So I think we have some solutions in the works that will put more responsibility on cannabis businesses to mitigate their odors. As well, this also looks at the enforcement mechanisms. That's another weakness we have right now. Our enforcement mechanisms are fairly weak when it comes to cannabis. Really, all we can do is issue an admin cite and an admin fine of $100 if we can identify who that violator is and where that odor is coming from. So I think we're doing more, and the ordinance update that we'll have will demonstrate that.
Well, I wouldn't want to suggest it's a violation. I mean, we have certainly reviewed enough of these that, they are very tightly regulated. And, the systems that they have proposed they're valid, real functioning systems. But I think, in my opinion, there's still a little bit of a learning curve. And what any HVA system does in general, you put it into any desert community, and where the temperatures can push a system to its limits.
I think the challenge we have is that we require either an odor control system or a negative pressurization system as a condition of approval on a CUP today, but there's no review process to look at exactly what an applicant is putting in place. Yes, we look at it on a mechanical plan sheet as part of a building permit, but that building permit is reviewed against the California Building Code. It's not reviewed against any standard to ensure that the odor control systems are adequate, that they're adequately sized for that particular operation. And I think that's where we're looking at making a change, is having an additional process post-entitlement to require an odor control plan permit to be submitted to the city that shows exactly how an engineer has designed the odor control systems for the size of the facility, that they have the proper administrative controls, other controls in place to manage their odors. So I think this will be a positive addition to the city, and a lot of cultivators, a lot of manufacturers are doing this anyway. This is a matter of documenting that and ensuring that our cannabis businesses are operating the right way and that they're fulfilling the conditions of approval.
All right, thank you.
I was having this thought while you were talking about the drop-off in permits and activity on the commercial side. I'm curious with Eric if there's anything he could bring before this committee to let us know what's being done to attract businesses into the city.
I'd be happy to have Eric Besserell, our Economic Development Manager, come before the ARC. It's a great suggestion. Let's calendar it.
That would be, I would like that.
I would also like that,
Gentlemen?
yes.
Okay, it's unanimous.
Let's do it.
So I'd love to know what's going on.
Okay.
I don't get that anymore at the chamber or a real estate association, so it's like, I'm nosy.
We'll gladly do that, and we are working on quarterly updates from economic development that we'll be sharing
Okay.
publicly as well. So we're still a little ways from having that ready, but let's get Eric here and have him
Please.
give you an economic development update.
And he could answer questions about north of Highway 10, right?
We can provide some of that information, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because there's that and the big project over here that's going on, so, okay. Any other comments, questions for staff? Okay. This meeting is now adjourned at 5:06 PM. Thank you.